A few weeks ago, we received a question on our FormSpring about how to preserve fruits. Now that it's summer, and the summer fruits are starting to come into season, I thought it was a perfect time to show you how to preserve fruit so that you can extend their life and keep eating them way after summer's already over.
This week on Working Class Foodies.
Right now in New York, rhubarb and strawberries are in season. I decided to make two preserves, a rhubarb apple ginger preserve and a simple plain strawberry preserve. So I got a pound of rhubarb, a quart of strawberries, and 2 apples. I started the rhubarb one first because the rhubarb and apple would take longer to cook down. I trimmed off the rough ends of my rhubarb and then chopped them into roughly 1/4 inch pieces. Then I peeled, cored, and chopped up 2 apples into about the same shape. I put my rhubarb and my apples together in a pot with the juice of 1 lemon, half a cup of water, about a 1/4 cup of sugar. Then I minced and peeled about a teaspoon of fresh ginger, and my teaspoon of peeled and minced ginger. Most importantly, I added about a 1-inch square of lemon peel. Lemon peel provides pectin, which makes the preserves become a little bit thicker, and gave my apple and rhubarb preserves a stir. I covered this and brought it to a boil. Meanwhile, I removed the stems from my strawberries and chopped them in half. Then I put them in a separate pot with about 2 tablespoons of water and about 2 tablespoons of sugar. I brought my strawberry sugar water mixture to a boil. We're going to take a quick break while our preserves cook. When we come back, it's time to clean and sterilize our cans and can our preserves. Now, canning and preserving is very similar to pickling, which we did a couple months ago in our pickling episode. Now, of course, you can reuse old jars, just clean them thoroughly and then sterilize them. And you can reuse the bands, but not the lids, not the part with a little bit of glue on it. That you have to use new ones every time. There are 2 ways to sterilize your jars. You can either boil them in water for a few minutes, or you can use a food-safe sanitizer. I prefer to use a food-safe sanitizer because it's clean, effective, and quick, and it doesn't leave you handling boiling hot glass, which can be a little dangerous. I like to use Star San. It's a food-safe sanitizer you can find online at these places. So first I clean my jars, my bands, and my new lids in extremely hot water, and then I sterilize them using just under a 1/4 ounce of Star San for 1 large bowl of cold water. I left my bands and my lids sit in the water until they were ready, and I sterilized my jars and then just left them upside down to drain on a paper towel. Meanwhile, I prepared my processing bath by bringing a large pot of water to boil. My preserves were done cooking once all the fruit was soft and the liquid had thickened a bit because of the pectin. I ladled it very carefully into my 4 jars. And then I put on the lids, tighten the bands. Then I very, very carefully put my sealed jars in the boiling processing bath and boiled them for 10 minutes. Then I very carefully removed my jars and let them cool. Then I put them in the fridge. Once you open them, it's best to keep them in the fridge for probably no more than 2 to 3 weeks at most. You could do strawberry rhubarb, which of course is a very popular pie filling. You could do apple strawberry. Once raspberries come into season, you could use those too. Same thing with blueberries, peaches. Just about any fruit can work as a preserve. All in all, I made 4 large jars of preserves. And the total cost came to $9.50, which breaks down to less than $2.40 a jar. And we got to use local fruits that were in peak season. So I hope that answers your questions about how to do some basic fruit preserves. If you've made preserves before, if you're going to try to make your own this summer, write in, let us know what you're going to make. We'll see you next time on Working Class Foodies.